We all know Lightning McQueen. We have watched his legendary victories in the Piston Cup, his deep friendship with Doc Hudson, and how he brought the forgotten town of Radiator Springs back to global fame. But have you ever truly wondered what was happening in this world before McQueen accidentally rolled into that dusty, broken town? Who actually ruled the racing tracks? And how did a massive corporation like Dinoco become the ultimate empire of the car universe? Today, we reveal the dark history. We are diving deep into the hidden lore of cars that the movies never fully explained. Based on official comics and rare Pixar archives, I have gathered the most fascinating secrets of the pre-McQueen era. Grab your favorite drinks and snacks, because this video is going to completely change the way you look at your childhood favorite movie. If you want to help us beat the YouTube algorithm, make sure to like this video right now. Let us turn the clock back to the early 1950s. Decades before Lightning McQueen was even manufactured, only one name echoed through the racing world: the fabulous Hudson Hornet. Doc Hudson was an unstoppable force on the track, winning the prestigious Piston Cup 3 times in a row in 1951, 1952, and 1953. Racing back then was entirely different from the modern era. There were no advanced electronics, no high-tech simulators, and absolutely no tracking systems. It was purely raw engine power, heavy steel bodies, and dangerous dirt tracks. Doc Hudson was a true hero to the working-class cars. But then, the infamous year of 1954 arrived. In the movie, they briefly tell us that Doc suffered a massive crash and the racing world simply moved on. However, the real story behind his retirement is much darker. During the mid-1950s, the Piston Cup management began shifting toward corporate greed. The sport turned into business. New, shiny, and younger race cars were entering the market. Rich sponsors did not want to spend their marketing budgets on an old-school vehicle like Doc Hudson. After his terrible accident, Doc spent months repairing his engine, desperate to return to the tracks he loved. But when he finally walked back into the garage, the officials coldly told him that he was no longer needed. They said his era was over. This was the first major act of corporate betrayal. Deeply hurt and broken by the system, Doc Hudson decided to leave high society behind. He hid his 3 Piston Cups in a garage, changed his identity, and drove out into the remote Arizona desert. He chose to live in a place where nobody cared about racing or corporate money. He became a quiet judge and doctor in a tiny town, swearing never to look at a racetrack again. He buried his glorious past completely, until a loud, red rookie destroyed his main road. Now, let us explore the tragic history of Radiator Springs itself. During the 1960s and 1970s, this town was an absolute paradise located right on the famous Route 66. As Sally explained to McQueen in the first movie, cars used to travel through these mountains not just to reach a destination, but to experience the beautiful journey. Flo's V8 Cafe served the highest quality fuel, and Ramon's custom body shop had a waiting list that was packed months in advance. The town was originally founded by Stanley, Lizzie's late husband, who discovered a natural fresh water spring in the desert. For decades, everyone believed that Radiator Springs would thrive forever as the heart of American road trips. But in the mid-1980s, everything changed in the blink of an eye. The government decided to build the new Interstate 40 highway to make interstate travel much faster. Cruelly, this massive new highway bypassed the town completely. The new highway was designed for pure speed. Cars no longer cared about the scenic mountain views, the local shops, or the historic towns. They just wanted to rush from point A to point B as fast as their engines allowed. Within just a few short months, the number of visitors entering Radiator Springs dropped to absolute zero. The local businesses could not survive. Hotels became empty, shops closed doors, and many residents packed up and left the town forever. The beautiful town was practically erased from the map. For more than 20 long years, Radiator Springs remained a forgotten, dusty ghost town hidden behind the mountains. The remaining citizens, like Maida, Luigi, and Fillmore, became an isolated family, keeping the neon lights on every night, praying that one day a traveler would take a wrong turn and find them again. They were completely disconnected from the rest of the fast-paced, modern world until 2006. While Radiator Springs was quietly fading away in the desert, the racing world in the big cities was experiencing a massive corporate boom. A giant oil corporation named Dinoco had successfully taken complete control over the Piston Cup. And this multi-billion-dollar empire had one legendary symbol, Strip Weathers, famously known to all generations as the King. Sponsored by the blue Dinoco brand, the King completely dominated the racing world from 1970 to 2006. The King won an incredible 7 Piston Cups, a record that seemed completely impossible to beat. He was the perfect face for the sport, honest, respectful, family-oriented, and deeply loyal to his team. But behind the glamorous scenes, a dark jealousy was growing in the pits. His main rival, Chick Hicks, was becoming increasingly aggressive and desperate. Chick spent his entire 20-year career trapped under the massive shadow of the King. He was furious. Finishing almost every single race in second place completely destroyed Chick Hicks' mental stability. Before McQueen entered the scene, those 2 decades were defined by the King's absolute rule and Chick's secret, angry plans to win at any cost. Racing had lost its soul. It was no longer about sportsmanship or passion. It was an aggressive business run by rich sponsors, media reporters, and executives who only cared about selling merchandise and ads. And that brings us to the year 2006. Into this highly corporate, predictable, and repetitive racing world, a completely different type of vehicle suddenly burst onto the scene, Lightning McQueen. He was a young, arrogant, and wildly talented rookie with no major corporate backing. He was sponsored by Rust-eze, a small, cheap company that made bumper ointment for old cars. McQueen despised his sponsors and dreamed only of replacing the King as the face of Dinoco. Before McQueen, every racer followed the corporate rules perfectly, but McQueen did not care about anyone. He fired his crew chiefs, refused to change his tires during pit stops, and cared only about his personal glory and speed. Ironically, his rebellious attitude was exactly what the stale racing world needed. And by a strange twist of fate, this arrogant rookie gets lost and ends up in Radiator Springs, face-to-face with the forgotten legend, Doc Hudson. When the forgotten past met the rebellious future, the legendary car's story we love was born. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the dark history before Lightning McQueen, smash that like button right now. If this video gets high engagement, in the next episode we will analyze the terrifying theory of where all the humans disappeared to. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so we can hit our 4,000 hours goal. Catch ya!